When SSDs were first made available to consumers, they were only available in low capacities, were relatively slow, and very expensive, making them only really viable to enthusiasts and prosumers. Now that they have gone down in price to a justifiable 50 cents a gig in some cases, they are much more accessible to the general public. In this video, we're going to test whether it is worth it or whether you should wait another year or so. For the first test, we're going to be doing a boot time comparison between a 7200 RPM mechanical hard drive and a SanDisk Extreme 2 SSD. We're going to make this as real world as possible by using the hard drive I use on a daily basis and then cloning that to the SSD, rather than doing a clean install of Windows for a best case scenario. Because let's face it, over time, your hard drive will be full of programs, you may have had viruses, you may have had some tweaks made, and so on. So we're going to be doing this as real world as possible. Okay, now we're going to be doing the same thing, only instead of using a mechanical hard drive, we're going to be using the SanDisk Extreme 2 SSD. We're still going to be booting the computer and opening Photoshop as soon as we see the desktop. Okay, with the numbers in, you can see that SSD takes it by more than half. That means SSDs are more than twice as fast than mechanical hard drives at booting. Okay, now it's time for the benchmark part of this comparison. First up is our 7200 RPM Seagate Barracuda standard mechanical hard drive. To benchmark it, we're going to be using Crystal Diskmark 3.03, and we're going to be testing everything. However, we need to focus on sequential read and write as well as 4K read and write, because those are the more important ones. Okay, now that we are done our benchmark, as you can see here, you can see that in terms of sequential read and write, it is actually not that bad for a standard mechanical hard drive, 7200 RPM, with 174 megabyte per second read and 144 megabyte per second write. So moving large files and other things to the hard drive as storage will be quite fast. However, when we get down to the 4K random read and write, you can see it's pretty poor, with the read being only 0.5 megabyte per second or 124 IOPS, and the write being 1 or 250 IOPS, which is quite poor performance, and this is especially where SSDs shine. Other than the given fact that they are faster in everything, they make a huge difference when it comes to 4K random read-writes, which is a big help for things like booting into your operating system. Okay, now let's really see how SSDs stack up against standard mechanical hard drives. Okay, now for the SSD benchmark, we're going to be doing the exact same thing, just running all 4 tests and then comparing the numbers to our standard mechanical hard drive. Okay, so as you can immediately see after running this benchmark, the scores on the SSD are significantly higher than the ones on the mechanical hard drive. Sequential read is 471 megabyte per second. Sequential write is 439 megabytes per second, which means transfer of large files is going to be extremely fast, assuming the source can handle this kind of speed. 4K read and write is also substantially higher, with read being 22 megabyte per second or around 5,000 IOPS, and write being 53 megabytes per second, or around 13,000 IOPS, which means that booting and launching programs is going to be extremely fast, and you can clearly see that from the boot and application launching test. So overall, in the end, SSDs are something that is significantly higher priced than a mechanical hard drive. However, the performance they provide you is significantly higher. It is one of the best upgrades that will make your PC feel faster, whether that's booting up, launching applications, or shutting down. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that thumbs up down below, leave a comment if you have one, and subscribe for more videos.